The following content is sponsored and does not necessarily reflect the views of WATD Radio. Now, Paul Ponders on 95.9 WATD. Be a part of the show. Call or text 781-837-4900. Now, here's your host, Paul Solano.
Welcome, and thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors. My name is Paul Solano of the PS&All Marketing Group, and as you probably already know, I also wear another hat as General Manager of Pearl Street Station Restaurant in Malden. A huge shout-out to Chef Felipe Fitzpatrick and his culinary team. Chef Felipe is a loyal listener through the Odyssey app, so hello to Chef Felipe. And a shout-out to my great 1215 staff of John, Jen, Nicole, and Dennis. Now, on a very sad note, our owner and founder of 40 years, Alan Robot, passed away last Friday at the age of 76. We have been mourning the loss of this great man for the past week. May he rest in peace, dear friend and brother from another mother. Alan, my B-fam. Now, thousands of mourners attended Alan's wake on Thursday and yesterday, and Alan was just an incredible gentleman, hospitality, and nightclub professional. Perhaps you remember the Jumbo Lounge in Somerville, Brothers Four in Falmouth and Nashua, or how about the Palace Nightclub Complex in Saugus? That's Alan and his three other dynamic brothers, Russell, George, and Stephen. A celebration of life for Alan will be held on Sunday, July 27th at Pearl Street Station Restaurant in Malden from 2 to 6 p.m. We definitely expect to be at our 277 capacity and higher, and it will be a great tribute to a great guy, Alan Robot. And a message to Michelle, Alan's wife: stay strong. You've got this. You have our commitment from our management team to continue Alan's legacy of Malden's longest-running restaurant of 40 years. Now, this is show number 32, and it's an absolute honor and pleasure to be on WATD in the slot of the Boiling Point with Arthur Boyle. I still cannot believe that it is show number 32. And Arthur, you are doing a fabulous job as the executive consultant of Paul Ponders on WATD. Thanks for co-hosting last week with Brother David Boyle while I was working a backyard barbecue in Peabody. What a great show it was, and I enjoyed listening to your guest, Fraser Townley from T2M Inc. in the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for the kind words about my family, and I am still waiting to become a grandfather for the first time. To my daughter-in-law, Alexandra, if you are listening, thank you for enduring this blessed event. Now, 4 days after your due date, you and Rachel live in Quincy, and thank goodness you were not in labor during those flash floods we had earlier in the week. We would have had a baby named Stormy Solano or Rainy. And, of course, I'm joking, of course. It would not be Esmeralda, as I would always joke with you, Rachel. But just keep on plugging, and maybe we'll have some breaking news during this show that I'll be a grandfather. Wouldn't that be cool? Cool radio. And a shout out to my friends at the East Cambridge Savings Bank in Malden branch on Pleasant Street, to Chris, Ida, and Larissa for tuning in. And also a shout out to a loyal listener, Mike in Amokai on the North River. He's out there hopefully relaxing and enjoying, and Paul Ponders is coming in loud and clear. So with us behind the glass, I know we have Tim behind the glass. Tim, how are you?
Doing fine. Good afternoon, Paul.
Good afternoon.
Sorry for the loss of your restaurant family.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Alan truly was just a true gentleman, and miss him dearly and all. And off air, we speak about Pearl Street Station and the karaoke we have on Friday, Saturday nights. So I'm going to get you up to Malden one of these Friday or Saturday nights.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Friday nights are tough because I got to be here the next morning.
Well, we'll use that as a segue to a happy birthday to Beth Foster, who has been at Pearl Street for karaoke when she's lived in the north of Boston area. So a happy birthday to Beth. And maybe Beth could, in fact, entice you to come on up to Malden. I spoke to Rob Hackler the other day about Pearl Street Station, about Alan and the karaoke. So we may have a field trip one day for karaoke.
There you go.
Absolutely, and a happy belated birthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
How did you spend your birthday? You went away, right?
No. I was here Saturday night, the 28th, doing the Yesterday's Memories, the Oldies show. But it was my birthday weekend, and I said, darn it, I'm not working on my birthday.
Okay.
So I took Sunday off. That was my birthday, the 29th, and also happy belated birthday to Martin Truex Jr., former driver of the number 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota Camry in the NASCAR Cup Series. We are 2 years apart. He's 2 years older than me to the date.
Indeed.
I liked him as a driver. That made me love him even more.
I love it.
But had a bunch of friends over, had great food, and a really good time.
Absolutely. Well, we really miss you, and intern Paul Pisa was here. He did a great job, and I think Dave Cedrone, who may have left, I think he already left.
He's gone.
He's gone. Yeah. He was behind the glass too.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And it was great.
We could call him our Muse Man.
Ooh, no. I like that.
Yeah, he likes to slip in a little meow at the end.
Right, exactly, exactly. We'll have to give him a can of soda, and he'll be in a catatonic state.
Oh.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Well, with that, let's move on with the show. Now, at this point of the program, we usually have Shelley Wolf. Shelley will be on later today. She's finishing up teaching a class, I believe, in Rhode Island. But we're going to shift things around, and let's go to the financial wing of Olympic Proportion, sponsored by PS&All Marketing Group, and Olympian/former Boston Bruins winger Dave Jensen, Senior Loan Officer for Riverworks Credit Union. And we are taking a different slant on really interesting members of my network and circle of dear friends in this revised segment. So this week we have a first-time guest to Paul Ponder's radio show, Paul P.J. Suswert of Gotham Whale. PJ, are you on the line?
I am on the line.
Awesome. Welcome. Great to have you on. Now, we often have Bob Hilberg, the executive director of Gotham Whale, on. And you are no stranger to Gotham Whale as well. And you're actually on location, I guess, at the National Lighthouse Museum in Staten Island, where it all began for Gotham Whale. So why don't you let our listeners in Paul Ponder's land know about Gotham Whale?
Yeah, so sorry about the helicopter going by here, but we're down here at the National Lighthouse Museum in Staten Island, right in between the Staten Island Ferry and the origin point of Gotham Whale, where my dad lived and started noticing the wildlife around here was coming back to life, and he wanted to do a seal watch with some of the locals and do some citizen science and start counting seals. And lo and behold, whales started showing up. And the way he puts it is the whales came to him. And so that is the origin of Gotham Whale, starting back in 2010 after my dad's retirement in the aquarium world, where he worked at the Boston Aquarium and then came down to Coney Island Aquarium to finish out his career. So he no stranger to the ocean and no stranger to seals, as I had one in my bathtub at age 10, and we cared for it and put it in the aquarium, and had a funny story that we're working on to put that into his children's book. So this is a lot of good stuff down here in Staten Island. We're doing the picnic by the water here, and it's a really amazing time.
Wow, that's fabulous. So what is happening today at the National Lighthouse Museum? Is there a special showing of a movie?
There is a special showing. Gotham Whale is going to be showing Ocean's Angels that depicts my dad, the founder of Gotham Whale, as a ocean angel. The film is from Ran Levy, and he's a filmmaker from Israel that noticed found out about Gotham Whale and was very interested, came out and interviewed my father. He interviews all sorts of people around the world that dedicate their life to the ocean. Roger Payne is in this documentary film, and some people may know Roger Payne was the gentleman who started the Save the Whale movement, which is, back in the late 60s, early 70s, when they discovered that whales were singing. And he captured that on a recording, and that recording went platinum into the National Geographics. And as they say, the rest is history. But those songs of the Humpback are something that people really enjoy, music, and it's we've got some music down here at the Lighthouse Museum from a good friend of ours, Scott Albertson, turned us on to Bob Wright and the Harbortown Band, which is a Staten Island band. So it's all about music, communication, and the other woman in the film, Ocean's Angels, is a woman from Scotland that plays violins to wildlife, and by happenstance, it happens to be she played violins to seals. So it comes full circles with whales and seals and ocean life and music.
That is really, really fabulous. Now, the Staten Island area, so are you right by the ferry area?
I'm not a golfer, but I probably could hit a four iron to one of the boats here. Yeah, so it's definitely right there by the Staten Island Ferry. I'm looking at the Verrazano Bridge, and just last week there was a whale swimming around the Verrazano Bridge. And what Gotham Whale is doing is educating people that there are whales out here. So we're doing a boat safety program is in the works. We're educating, K through 12 with, we've had that in the mix to have a curriculum. So anybody interested in whales, please reach out to us, and we'll talk whales.
Interesting, very, very interesting. It's really something. In full disclosure, as I often say, whenever I have a guest on from Gotham Whale, we talk about that. I am on the board of Gotham Whale, and I'm proud to be a member of the Gotham Whale board, and really just help a great organization and all. And we'll be coming up on a commercial break shortly, but I just wanted to, in fact, just talk about the Boston versus New York rivalry, but yet there's a synergy, and it all centers around the marine life. So if you want to quickly touch upon that before we go on the commercial break.
Well, let's face it, Boston, New York always has their brothers, and I like to call it the rivalry that we want to turn into a camaraderie. We're all connected by the ocean, and why not try to understand it better? And that's what we're bringing to the table is just conversations and talk about what these magnificent creatures are doing and how we can help them coexist.
Fabulous, fabulous. I know we talked earlier off air about you possibly staying through the commercial break if you have time before your 1 o'clock movie. So are you all right staying on the line while we have some commercials?
Yes, sir.
You got it, PJ. Well, as Arthur Boyle says, it's not time to make the donuts, it's time to pay some bills. Let's hear from our sponsors.
Have you heard about Pembroke Collision? Price and quality don't often collide under the same roof. Not so at Pembroke Collision at 192 Manakesett Street in Pembroke. Pembroke Collision will work with you and your insurance company to get you back on the road in a safe and satisfactory vehicle. Put your trust in Ben Bastianelli and his crew at Pembroke Collision. Just call 781-293-4040 or find them on Facebook. Pembroke Collision, happy to work for you. Have you tried Bryanttville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that's steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Bryanttville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Bryanttville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Bryanttville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857.
A reminder from Crystal Clear Pools in Kingston. Pools can be fun and a relief from summer's heat, but they can also be a safety concern. Crystal Clear Pools offers safety tips including don't swim alone, don't dive into unfamiliar waters, have automatic locks on all gates and points of access, know where all your safety equipment is located and know how to use it, know where the nearest telephone is in case of emergency, and always keep your pool clean and sanitized. For other safety tips and quality pool products, stop by and see us on Route 27 in Kingston, Crystal Clear Pools, 781-585-7665. Be safe this season.
5-time Hall of Fame inductee President Dave Caiazzo from the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame Massachusetts chapter invites you to its Hall of Fame induction ceremony at 1 p.m. on Sunday, October 5th at Anthony's of Malden. Congrats to Zavarian Brothers High School head football coach Al Finaro, past San Diego Padres farmhand Joe DiSarcina, and special Tony the Champ DeMarco Spirit Award recipient Catholic Memorial AD football coach John DiBiazzo. Please contact Paul at paulponders.com or President Dave Caiazzo at davekaipitching@gmail.com for more ticket information. Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were 3 deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70-plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email mike@northeasternfence.com.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
Thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors. The call-in number is 781-837-4900, and you can find us also on the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. And if you're like my daughter Ann in California, you're listening to Dad, or if you're like my stepson Javon, who just hopefully downloaded the Odyssey app today, he's tuning in. A shout out to both Annie and to Javon and to all those loyal listeners. Hopefully Chef Felipe is still listening, but he could be bogged down with that huge chicken fajita party pan order we have, and also those fried ice cream tacos you've created that are just so delightful. So keep up the great work there. And a shout out to all the nonprofits out there. You could reach me at paul@paulponders.com if you want to be featured on the Paul Ponders podcast, the radio show, whatever the case may be. And our guest on the line, PJ, is waiting patiently for me to just go through this whole spiel. But he had mentioned, PJ, if you want to come back on the line, you had mentioned Scott Albertson and how he hooked you up with. He's a connector himself with this Project 142, and Scott is going to be a guest next Saturday on the Paul Ponders radio show.
Yeah. Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yes, I can, indeed.
Yeah, so special thanks to, I want to thank a bunch of people, so Scott Albertson being one of them, and the volunteers surrounding Gotham Wheel is just amazing. You know, Alex and Tim Hurd are here with us today, and, Scott Albertson has been working diligently on his dedication around the nation, always promoting us and promoting any nonprofits that are out there. He's just an amazing man, and that's where it all starts, with volunteers. Dad started off as a volunteer at the New England Aquarium, and I encourage everybody out there, I'm going to get my kids to do it as well, is to volunteer in your community. Whatever it is that you have an interest in, please go out and volunteer.
You are so accurate in that, PJ, and I was always taught, never forget where you came from, and it's very important to be involved with those nonprofits. And a nonprofit like Gotham Whale is out there raising money and raising awareness for so many great causes. So is Bob Hilberg with you today?
He is over there working the table. We've got some guests, inquiring about what we do, and so he's doing his spiel over there. But
that's fabulous.
Alex is helping us as well. Inside, we've got, and I go on after him, Tony Rose. He's a Staten Island Divers Association, and he's promoting collecting rainwater. And so it's a teaching tool today down here at the National Lighthouse Museum.
Interesting.
Other organizations like the Billion Oyster Project are here, and it's just an amazing day down here in Staten Island.
That is fabulous. That is a fabulous thing. Now, I think recently, Bob had touched upon this a few weeks ago now about the Deutsche Bank eDNA study. How did all that work out?
That worked out well. We're still waiting for the results to see what the eDNA comes back with. And so Deutsche Bank approached us for, understanding what's happening in the waters and how we can test it together and protect the wildlife. So we're dealing with the analysis to understand how the race intertwines with the area. So they contacted us, and we came out and did some samples, and we're waiting for that test result. So it's great to be involved in projects like that and looking for more.
Interesting. Now, one of the things we've talked about in the past is how busy the New York Bight is, and with all the ships that are coming through. What is happening up in the New York Harbor area?
So basically, it's, New York is a metropolis, and the traffic with goods coming in here. The band's playing now. I don't know if you can hear them.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah. So the boat traffic is something to be concerned about, because the whales have a feeding ground here now, and so the boats are primarily, the whales are playing in traffic is what it is, and we want to try to figure out how we can protect them or notify when boats are in the area, and it's all about acoustics and sound waves, and it needs a lot of research to figure out how we can help these animals.
Interesting. Now, Gotham Whale partners with whale watching trips in New York and also the Boston area. Is that true?
We haven't ventured into the Boston area as of yet, but we have several whale watching companies down here that we partner with, and what we do with them is we work with the naturalists that we have the data that they see out there, and it's citizen scientists. Basically, the whale watchers are out in the water looking for whales, but we take that information and we put it into data, and we put it into our whale catalog. So we understand if these whales are returning in the area year after year, or how long they're hanging out, what they're feeding on. So there's a lot of data that we collect from people that are just out sightseeing and observing whales.
Interesting. Now, I believe that you've gone as far north as British Columbia with the Orca Man.
Yeah, so that is another funny happenstance. The Orca Man has been a good advocate for us and a colleague, and he loves whales. He saw Free Willy back when he was a kid and got hooked. And it's amazing how many whale people you come across when you start getting involved in it. I met a gentleman in Times Square. He has Orca Productions. Gashi is a rap singer, and he loves whales. And same thing as Ralph. He saw Free Willy and fell in love with whales. So if you fall in love with whales, you never stop.
That's really, really great. So what's up for the rest of the day after the movie?
After the movie, we're going to break down and we're going to head back to Boston. So we're bridging that gap between New York and Boston and spreading the whale love wherever we can. Nothing
wrong with that, and just seeing as many possible vendors and partners as possible. Your networking skills are great, and we'll I guess catch up with you when you get back tomorrow or the next day.
Well, thank you, Paul, always, and thank the Gotham Whale team, all the volunteers, and everybody, Linda, down here at the Light Museum. This is a great day, and looking forward to do more events like this and call in to your show and tell you what we're all about.
Absolutely. If you want to give a quick shout-out for your dad's books that he wrote.
Oh, yeah. So my dad did a book called Stranded, which is very near and dear to me. He finished it just prior to his passing, and it tells about his life stories, intertwines with the Moby Dick story, and it's something to read. You can get it on Amazon, Stranded by Paul L. Seeswerter, and the artwork is done by Chiara Espinella, and I met her on a whale watching trip 3 years ago, and that's another show.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you'll be a future Paul Ponders radio show guest, just like Bob Hilberg. And PJ, you have a great rest of the day, okay?
One more book, if you don't mind.
Oh, by all means.
I'm working on The Seal in the Bathtub, which should be coming out sometime this year or right before Christmas, I'm hoping. It's when I had a seal in the bathtub at my home there in Malden, and it's a cute little story that parlays off of Big Whale, Big City, which was a children's book that my dad did. So looking to get into the educating children, get them early.
Well,
whale lovers.
I'm sure it will be a big hit. I'm sure it will get the seal of approval.
Thanks, Paul. Always.
You got it,
God
PJ.
Bless you. God bless Alan.
Take care.
And, take care. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye now. Thank you so much. Well, before we go into the commercial break, I just wanted to just let listeners know that they could go to paulponders.com to find subscription links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, as well as finding past Paul Ponders and WATD shows. My recent podcasts with Scott Whitley of Wicked Bites and with State Auditor Diana DeZoglio continue to get lots of traction and many hits. On this Sunday night at midnight on YouTube, I'll be dropping a sizzling podcast with Christopher Kimball and his teammates of 16 Mesh Barbecue and the Northeast Barbecue Society. It really is a great segment. This is barbecue season, and if you haven't gone on the Northeast Barbecue Society site, please do. I was remiss over the past couple of weeks for signing up as a member, but I will be doing that today or tomorrow. I've just been kind of bogged down with some stuff going on with Alan's passing, but it's one of those things that it's really a great episode, and it's really great chat about smoked brisket, wonderful desserts that Chris Kimball, Dan, his brother Dan have, and Kristen, sister-in-law. It's really a great episode, so please check out Paul Ponders. Now, at this point, we're going to hear from our sponsors. Actually,
hold on, we're still setting up, Paul.
Okay, sorry about that. Well, so I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize that Tim was just setting up for Shelley, but let's just talk about what I was going to talk about a nonprofit, a brief promo for Michael Charles Productions. Michael Charles is someone who I met at a barbecue, a backyard barbecue in Brockton, Roger and Maria's home, and I've seen him the past couple of years. And Michael has a very interesting business, and it's called the Trimbago American Cultural Explorers, Inc., and he's presenting a carnival in Connecticut, and it's Carnival Splendor at the Carnival Village, and it's at Pratt & Whitney Stadium, and it's really going to be quite a production, and it's Trinidad-style Caribbean Carnival. And some of the headliners are Kings and Queens. They have a steel band. They have DJs and live performances. And for more vending information about being a sponsor, you could call Michael Charles at 860-818-0678. Again, Michael Charles at 860-818-0678. And that's the first annual East Hartford Trinidad-style Caribbean Carnival. So that should work out well. And Tim, we're ready to go to our commercials. Thank you.
Have you tried Bryantville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857. Have you heard about Pembroke Collision? Price and quality don't often collide under the same roof. Not so at Pembroke Collision at 192 Manakesett Street in Pembroke. Pembroke Collision will work with you and your insurance company to get you back on the road in a safe and satisfactory vehicle. Put your trust in Ben Bastianelli and his crew at Pembroke Collision. Just call 781-293-4040 or find them on Facebook. Pembroke Collision, happy to work for you.
A reminder from Crystal Clear Pools in Kingston. Pools can be fun and a relief from summer's heat, but they can also be a safety concern. Crystal Clear Pools offers safety tips including don't swim alone, don't dive into unfamiliar waters, have automatic locks on all gates and points of access, know where all your safety equipment is located and know how to use it, know where the nearest telephone is in case of emergency, and always keep your pool clean and sanitized. For other safety tips and quality pool products, stop by and see us on Route 27 in Kingston, Crystal Clear Pools. 781-585-7665. Be safe this season.
Five-time Hall of Fame inductee President Dave Caiazzo from the National Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame Massachusetts chapter invites you to its Hall of Fame induction ceremony at 1 p.m. on Sunday, October 5th at Anthony's of Malden. Congrats to Zavarian Brothers High School head football coach Al Finaro, past San Diego Padres farmhand Joe DiSarcina, and special Tony the Champ DeMarco Spirit Award recipient Catholic Memorial AD football coach John DiBiazzo. Please contact Paul at paulponders.com or President Dave Caiazzo at davecai.pitching@gmail.com for more ticket information. Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were three deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70-plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email Mike at northeasternfence.com.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
We are back, and thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD. Call-in number is 781-837-4900. And Arthur Boyle had a pretty good chime in. Uncle Arthur Boyle come in with this one about if, in fact, Alexandra had gone into labor during those flash floods and had to be airlifted all the way to Beth Israel Hospital. Then she and Rachel would actually be helicopter parents. Rim shot? No rim shot on that one. Thank you, Arthur, for that. Okay, thank you. That's for Arthur. But anyways, just chiming in on that. So anyways, at this point in the segment, a little off your usual spot, Shelley Wolf. But this is the Pod Pro Entertainment Techie Toolbox segment with Techie Talonzo Amos and Shelley Wolf, global media firm, owner of Toolbox Entertainment, and a past Paul Ponders guest, episode number 35. Shelley, welcome.
Thank you, Paul. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Still no grandchild.
Uh-oh. Well, at least they didn't have to be airlifted, so that's
this is true. so true. That would have been interesting, but it's going to happen soon. If you could just sense that anxiety in my voice about being a grandfather for the first time.
Yeah, very exciting moment.
It really is. It truly is. So let me see. You were teaching a class today. Where in Rhode Island was it?
Yeah, so I'm here for I'm in Providence, Rhode Island, and we are here for the Summer Institute for Digital Literacy, hosted by the University of Rhode Island, and it happens every year. It's a great, you can call it a professional development learning experience. It's basically a crash course about learning media literacy and digital literacy. And this year I was actually asked to be part of the faculty and for the Summer Institute. So we did a really unique thing this year. We actually did some hybrid classes for 2 weeks, and then for 4 days. And then we've all been in person now since Wednesday. We got here, and so Thursday, Friday, and then today we just presented our project. So we walk away with digital artifacts about an inquiry question. So what might your inquiry question be today, Paul?
Interesting. Interesting. So the question of the day is, and first with the statement that, Shelley, our listeners are really liking all those tips you're sending along, and I'm posting them on the PSNL Marketing Group blog and all, but what tips would you have for us today?
Yes, so the tips we're going to focus on today is about around deep fakes. So a lot of people are wondering what a deep fake is, and a lot of people are starting to get emails, and that term's starting to bounce around a lot. So I just thought it was really important for our listeners to kind of get a sense of what they're thinking. So you've probably seen it, but you may see a video of a celebrity that you already know saying something wild, or a phone call that sounds exactly like a loved one, or they're from your bank or a credit card, and you're like, why are they calling me? But guess what? It wasn't real. Welcome to what we call the world of deep fakes, videos, photos, or audio pieces that use artificial intelligence to look and sound real when they really are not. Today's tech tip is all about helping you to understand what deep fakes are, how they show up in your digital world, and how to protect yourself from falling for a fake deep fake. A deep fake video is, like I said, a video, an audio clip, or even an image that's been digitally altered, usually with AI, to mimic a real person's face, voice, and action. I've been noticing ones that are like around some of these floods. You saw a lot during political times. But what's also happening is people are also getting phone calls, right? So you may see a video of a politician saying something that's controversial that they may have never said before, or a scam phone call that sounds like I said, like a loved one, or it could be your bank or a credit card, and you're like, why are they calling me? I know there's money in the bank. A celebrity promoting a product that they've never heard of. So those are things that could be potential deep fakes. And so you just want to be very, very careful about what you're partaking in. And why does it matter is that deep fakes are more than just tricks. They are actually used to just spread misinformation, commit fraud, and actually manipulate your emotions. So some may go, well, how does that relate to technology, and why should I care? Well, part of it is that technology is actually behind it. And we've talked about this in some of our other episodes where we talk about AI might be listening to our voices, taking our voices, those home devices that might be listening to our voices. They use something that's called deep learning. And that's where the deep part comes from, to analyze thousands of images or sound clips and build a fake realistic sound. So, for example, if you pick up the phone and you don't know that number and you say hello, they're actually recording that voice tone. So they're getting your voice. So you want to be very careful. It's like digital puppetry, but the puppets look and sound like something you trust and someone you trust. So who makes them? These are made by pranksters or artists, but others come from scammers, cyber criminals, and even political groups trying to mislead you to what you may not want to think about. Rapid growth in 2019 is when there were fewer than 10,000 known fakes, and by now there are actually more than millions circulating online. So why should you care? You should care because scams are getting smarter and smarter. I mean, there is actually videos, and most people, we've talked a little bit about this, and this is a whole topic, but like the idea that videos, music videos, songs are all being written by AI, and the technology is so phenomenal. So you may receive a video call or a voicemail or email from someone who looks or sounds like, say, a child, your boss, and it's not them. So a recent scam that used AI to impersonate a voice and ask for money urgently. Grandma, I'm in trouble. Send me $500 now. Well, you're about to be a grandfather, and you want to be very careful, right? Because that by the time they're, calling for money, it's even going to be scarier out there, and there'll be many more millions of deep fakes. So you just want to be careful of knowing, okay, don't panic. Let me check with my grandchild. Let me check with my person and make sure before I make rash decisions around handing out money or, answering a phone call. So again, misinformation spreads very fast, and deep fakes are used for fake news, as I mentioned, politics, manipulating news clips. They're designed to really look real at first glance, causing that confusion and panic. And again, we've talked about that in some other episodes. Again, we don't want to panic when there's something we don't know. So we just, again, be very careful. Online reputation and damage happens when some people have had their faces placed into fake videos, damaging their reputation or even job prospects. So you want to be careful that Google your name and see what's out there. These are growing concerns for all professionals and families alike. So, again, things to think about and how to spot is in videos and deepfakes are often weird blinking, lip syncing issues, or unnatural skin smoothing. So you can look for those sorts of things. Audio fakes happen to sound actually flat, lack a lot of background noise, or use strange pauses. If it sounds off or you don't trust it in your gut and something feels off, don't trust it. And again, remember, use tools like Google reverse image search to see where that else an image may appear online. If a photo shows up in different names or stories, it may be fake. Again, fact-checking. Always verify shocking claims or requests, especially when it comes to money or passwords, or if something ever comes through and says it's urgent, that is the time when you really need to question what it is. Call that real person directly back before taking any action. So again, thinking about that and taking some quick safety checklist is be skeptical of video or calls asking for urgent money. Double check your trusted sources before reacting. Don't share content unless you know it's real. Report suspicious content on platforms like Facebook, the YouTubes, the Instagrams. Talk to friends and families about digital scams so that everyone stays alert. You know, banks, again, if you're dealing with banks and credit cards and money, pause before you act. Any urgent message should send up a red flag. Verify directly, never respond, contact the person or the business separately, limit what you share online. Scammers use public videos and audio to create fakes all the time, and be mindful of what you post. We've talked about logins in the past. Strengthen those logins, enable those two-factor authentications, update your credentials, and stay informed. Scams are constantly evolving. So next time you see something online when it seems a little strange to be true, take that pause. Deep fakes are clever, but they rely on catching us off guard. So stay alert, stay curious, and if something doesn't feel right, again, check once or even check twice. It's okay, but only act one time. So that's what our tip is for today.
Wow.
Don't be fooled by the fakes.
Absolutely. I love it. I love that. And how do our listeners get in touch with you, Shelley?
Yep, they can reach us at info@podproentertainment.com.
That is fabulous. That's fabulous. And if you don't mind just spending the last minute and a half with me before we go into Ron Dwyer, it would be awesome. But know we haven't really talked about you move back to Massachusetts and all. How's that going?
Yeah, I'm getting settled in, still doing some unpacking, but I'm definitely getting settled in. I'm loving the area. I'm not sure about this weather. I wish it would, not figure out what's going on. It's either way too hot or just, rainy, stormy, and cold. So I think it's supposed to be summer, but we're, again, those tech tips are really important because those weather apps are keeping us up to date on what's happening and trying to keep people safe. I mean, as you talked about, Texas and some of those, those floods are coming in, the weather's being crazy. So we just always want to be on alert. I know I saw on the news, I think it was Massachusetts that actually had some flooding the other day on Route 3. So, we just want to be careful.
Absolutely. Up in the Malden Medford area, I really do listen to WATD, and the traffic reports that I was listening to were just absolutely incredible. The expressway was shut down. Tim, I don't know if you were caught in any of that traffic.
No. I have a 5-minute commute during the week from my house. No highways involved.
Wow. But the expressway was really shut down, huh?
Yeah, they had to shut down both ways. It was quite a bit of water.
Yeah.
Wow.
Milton and Quincy and all. But Shelley, I want to thank you again for being on, and always a pleasure to have you on the Pod Pro Entertainment Techie Toolbox segment, and looking forward to, with Techie to Alonzo Amos, of course, but it's one of those things that we look forward to next week. How's that?
That sounds great. I look forward to being on.
Hashtag indeed. Thank you.
Imagine. Have a great week.
You as well, Shelley. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Well, now, listeners, I invite you to stay tuned to WATD for the Memories with Ron Dwyer, the grand poobah of oldies rock and roll. Ron, you are a true leader of the pack with great musical memories of yesteryear. So thank you, Ron. Listeners can go to paulponders.com to find subscription links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, as well as finding past Paul Ponders on WATD. shows. Thanks again to Tim, Arthur, and our advertisers, but really thank you, listeners in WATD World and beyond. Keep Paul pondering. #Indeed.